My brothers and sisters in Christ, yesterday the church celebrated the memorial of the passion, the martyrdom of St. John the Baptist, and that day had a proper gospel account assigned to that feast, the story of John the Baptist's martyrdom. And so because of that, we missed out on what would have been the naturally occurring gospel of the day yesterday, which marked the change from the gospel over to the Gospel of Luke, which we're now beginning and will follow in the weekday cycle for the remainder of the year. And so for us today, as our first day after the switch over to the Gospel of Luke, one thing that'll stand out to us is that in the weekday cycle, the Gospels, we follow through if you will, the public ministry and the teachings of Jesus. They skip over the accounts of the infancy narratives as well as the accounts of the Passion. So you kind of skip the beginning and end of each gospel, and that's because we have particular seasons of Advent and Christmas, and then we have the seasons of Lent and Easter to deal with those particular mysteries. But in ordinary time, we just follow sequentially through each of the three synoptic gospels. And so it struck me particularly today. The Gospel of Luke, when it picks up, always begins with chapter 4. The gospel we missed out yesterday was Jesus going to the synagogue, going to worship in his normal manner, picking up the scroll, reading, saying, "This is fulfilled in your hearing today." And it quickly goes from everyone being amazed to everyone wanting to stone him. And so today it picks up with this account of the encounter with the demoniac, the demon, recognizing, "I know who you are, you're the Holy One of God." And what struck me about this, jumping in from, kind of a fresh set of eyes as we jump into the beginning of the Gospel of Luke in this way, is that the Gospels were originally composed, if you think about it, going back to the first century. The Gospels were composed as a way to spread the good news, literally, of who the person of Jesus Christ is, that the Son of God has come for the salvation of sinners. And so we who look at our kind of nice and tidy Bible that's been assembled for us over centuries, for the early church, these were, the four Gospels were four different kind of letters or manuscripts put together by four different evangelists to pass down the truth, in a sense, to make the case for Christ. If you were a pagan or if you were a Jew, a Gentile, whatever your background you were, this was the case for Christ to be made. And so a big part of that was to help you to believe that Jesus of Nazareth was the Son of God, that he was the promised Messiah. That, in a lot of ways, is the point of the Gospels, at least certainly the three synoptic Gospels, of which Luke is one of them. And so we can take for granted when we read through that, in a sense, this is just part of the step to get you to believe. For many of us Christians who read this possibly, we've already, at least in our heads, bought into the fact that Jesus of Nazareth is the Son of God. And so this original intent of the gospel, in a sense, we don't fit into the original audience of these, at least for that purpose. And yet, there's something important to gain from the particular thing we hear today. Right off the bat, in a gospel that's being written to tell us, to show us that Jesus is the Son of God, Jesus is preaching, none of the people responding to him recognize him as the Son of God. Who does? The demons. The demons know right away who he is. And he silences them because he's not ready for it to be revealed in their terms and on the way and the timing that they want. But where I'm going with this is we can get caught in a sense, and I talked about this a few days ago, of thinking of our faith as just something to be thought, to be understood, to be believed. Like I'm trying to grow deeper in my faith, to understand my faith better. And that's not an incorrect usage of the word, and yet the faith, for me, subjectively, the gift of faith is so much more than an intellectual exercise or understanding. It has to be an assent of my will. It's, do I give myself over to this? And that's what it comes to for us who are now disciples. If we've said, yes, I believe that Jesus of Nazareth is the Son of God, the Messiah, now it's, what do I do with that? There's a step beyond. It's not just enough like the switch is flipped. Yes, I believe that Jesus is the Son of God, therefore I'm saved and my work here is done. No, it's okay, now what do I do with that as a disciple? And so now is the exercise of the turning over. If I believe that, then with my heart, my will, I must give myself over to God. And so, as we realize here, the demons paint for us in today's gospel a wonderful reminder that just knowing isn't enough. The demons know, but they're opposed to Jesus. It's not just a matter of knowing, it's a matter of how we respond. And so, my brothers and sisters in Christ, as we begin going into the Gospel of Luke day by day, may we be reminded today that even as we keep growing in our knowledge, that our heart must respond to Jesus. This knowledge that we have received must change everything. May God bless you all.